Morning, everyone. NWA Prepper here, coming on for a dark and stormy morning. I want to talk today about finding like-minded people. And it's difficult, and in some areas very difficult. We'll get to that. I feel that nobody, even if you want to be alone during an emergency, nobody wants to be alone all the time. You want to learn from others, share with others, and and it's reassuring to be around like-minded people. That's just the way it is. So, with that in mind, I'll tell you a little bit about the story about how I came into the wonderful circles and blessings that I have now. First off, it's a long road. You're not going to meet people that you want to be around or that want to be around you and that have the same beliefs or close enough beliefs that you want to spend time with them right away. That's not going to happen. However, I'm a big believer in, if I don't go out and try to find them, they're not going to just find me. They're not going to go, oh, well, I live in XYZ community in this region of this state, and go, that guy, I like him, I think I want to talk to him. So, the way I started with that is, of course, I started by reading blogs on the internet. And actually, it was before that. It was when there was just magazines and like chat rooms. That's how long ago it was. And I started communicating a little bit. I saved and wrote a few handwritten, stamped envelope letters. Fortunately and unfortunately, both sides of the coin, you can find groups easier, or groups or people a little bit easier nowadays than you could 20 plus years ago. And I know it's noisy, it's raining, I'm in a pickup truck that's noisy to begin with. Anyway, in today's time, I'll just take when I moved to the region I'm in now, which, by my name, Northwest Arkansas. I moved up here, and I really wanted to get some people, and I was working on bug out bags, and I wanted to learn a little bit more and get to know people and share a little bit about what I did know. So, I just happened upon this website. Of course, I did a Google search, and the search that I did was for survivalists, or survivalist mindset, maybe, I forget how I worded it, survivalist group, and of course several things popped up, and in my area, the militia came up, and a criminal guy that was involved in the militia, or a guy that created and had automatic weapons with no permits, and so that tainted that whole word for my area as far as law enforcement goes. So that ran me off, and so I found a group that met at my local library, and what they did is you come in once a month, maybe once every other week, and they had a little meeting room where they came in and they took turns having a session. I hate to say a lesson, because not necessarily. And I went in, and the core group, or the core leader, the lady who had started it, was doing a thing on maybe first aid kits or bug out bags, or I don't even remember. Was doing a session, and we went in there, and there was about 7 of us that sat there, and basically it was a bag dump, if I recall right. Whatever. She went through and she says, okay, we're going to do this again on this date and this time. Does anyone have any ideas for subjects? Somebody submitted, said, oh, I know a little bit about this. Somebody else said, oh, I'd like to hear about this, but I don't know about it. And I kind of went around the room, and somebody picked, and then the next time they did another one. And eventually it came to my turn. And I don't even remember what I did. Maybe land nav. Doesn't matter. I taught a little session, or shared a session, and this went on for a little while, and then the group started to fizzle. Mostly because every week or every meeting, people would come in and come out. There'd be new people and people that weren't there. To a high degree. I guess there was about 4 that were pretty consistent. And so it rotated through a little bit. I met some great people to this day that I love and I care with and I communicate with often. And anyway, but so through that, and that took a long time. Then that group, the lady moved, and so it became hard for her to host the meetings, and the group fizzled again. And I'd found this through the library, but then I went to meetup.com and had Fayetteville Preppers, I think was the name of it. Or maybe not, I don't remember. Anyway, I don't remember how the meetup started, but so you got the meetup, and then there was a big pause. There was another group north of me, a couple counties, north of the other county, and I'm south of one county. So I went up there one time, and then that group fizzled. During that same time, I was like, well, if they're not gonna have the group, maybe I can post on there and I can have a group get together. And so I said, okay, well, what do I know about? I know about some food, some long-term storage food, or bug out bags. I know a lot about that. And so I posted on the meetup.com site, that in a month I was going to host at the library a class or a discussion forum on bug out bags. And I put a little detail in there, and I had several people show up, 3 or 4. I mean, that's enough for me to start. And it was awesome. And so then I wanted to do it again, and we scheduled another one. And it slowly grew to a pretty active group, which to this day is still very active. Not by my part in any means, because of some of the people from the original breakoff, or the original group that when it broke up. And they work hard at it. They meet every Wednesday right today. So then that, and then as my schedule changed and my work changed, then I left that for a while, and I got in and I found a preparedness group that intersection that was, eventually I learned that they were pretty militant and a little too much for me, so I left that group, and through those contacts I grew a network of people that I could talk to that started another little splinter group. And splinter group is the wrong word to use, but a little break-off group or a new group, however you want to word it. But it starts with persistence. sometimes you have to be the one to start the ball rolling, and that's hard. It's hard to put yourself out there. And there's always the people that are like, oh, you're a doomsday prepper from TV. You just got to prove to them that you're not. Unless you are. I mean, if you are, that's fine. But you just got to prove to them that it's more about everyday emergencies. And I can't stress that enough. Emergencies happen to somebody every day, every day. And those are the things that you want to prepare for. Those are the ways that you can get people in there. If you have a skill in canning, have a canning discussion at your library or your community center or your community building or a church back room or something. You make them happen. You pick up the ball and you get out there and you start this discussion, education discussion. And then when you're in those meetings, if you find someone that, we're kind of kick off with this person, then go to Taco Bell. Go to lunch. Say, hey, after this, some of us are going to go to the coffee shop. We'd love for you to come. Or I would like for you to come somewhere else. Let's go talk. Let's spend time together. And do that a couple hundred times. Finding people that you trust is difficult. If finding people you trust is easy, you're making mistakes. Get to know people. Go to canning classes. Go to church. Find people that believe what you believe in everyday life, and that you'll find people more likely to believe what you believe for emergencies. You got to get out there. And I know operational security, I don't want anyone to know that I'm doing this. You're not going to find anyone unless somebody knows what you're doing. So if you're doing something wrong, I don't care if you find anyone. But if you're doing something right, if you're truly just preparing for emergencies, start a class. Start a discussion group at the library on Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock. Make some flyers. Put them at the farmer's co-op. Put them at Lowe's. Put them at the flea market. Put them on the community board. Post on local community boards. Don't put emergency survival. Don't put emergency preparedness. Don't put prepper. Put, hey, we're having a homesteading discussion or a homesteading group meeting. Everyone's invited. Bring a potluck dessert or something. And do that. And the first 2 or 3 or 4 are going to fail. You're going to feel their failure. Nobody's going to come, or 2 people are going to come. 2 people is a success. 20 people is a success, but 2 people is an intimate success. It can accomplish so much more. I have some great friends that live south of me, and it's a couple, and their names are unimportant, but I met them because I went to a library and I talked to somebody about being ready for tornadoes. Fire safety. The first class I went to was fire safety. I don't need basic fire safety. I write the classes that teach fire safety. Let's get ready, guys. Put it out there. Look for others. It's hard, but you can do it.